the SP 500 and the Nasdaq 100, as we jump into the market and we look at what happened over the past week, you can see we kind of closed red on a lot of names to end the week. But the areas that were most interesting to close were definitely banks, really sparking more interest, and oil and gas energy names there as well. Now, I will say that tech did have a bounce overall, but ended very, very weak when we go back over these names. So when we go back in and we look at the market overall, again, I'm going to go into an hourly chart just to demonstrate what happened here. But really, let's start attacking a few of these names. Like NVIDIA actually was one of the ones that did not. It was a lot of XLK names and just tech names overall. So we saw, Apple end of the day, big drop. Microsoft, big drop. Google, big drop, right? Very common theme what you're kind of seeing. Netflix, smaller drop, not huge, but still was just net dropping near the end of the day as well. And you saw this just happen like to a lot of names. Amazon, another name that dropped, right? So a lot of these names were dropping. Now, we look at what happened first of like that morning, what happened after PCE data came out, because that's really what matters here is PCE data. And you saw PCE inflation data continue to move in the right direction to the downside, and the market loved it. So from 8:30 basically into 9:30, 10 o'clock, you moved straight to the upside. You hit our target, 20,270. That was huge. That's what you wanted to see. Now we zoom back out to like the daily chart here, and you can kind of see what it's a little bit more interesting as we really zoom in here. You can see we come right back into that level. We reject, and we knew if we got over that level and mounted it like on the hourly, there's a lot of signs of continuation and a lot more love that would happen. You ended up rejecting, pushing back down, and ended the week right at our key level of 19.95. That's like our pivot point. So really demonstrating why I think that's such a big level here. Let me just show you going into this week. Okay, so if you're above this level, I had us pushing back into 22.7 or 20,270. Below this, you're kind of looking for downside into 19.7. Now, to really get bullish or to really get bearish, what are we looking at? Now, I do think you're bullish over 19.95. It's just that simple. But to get bearish, I want more confirmation. So I want to break and close below 19.7. And if you close below that, I think you push down to 19.4 with. Also, guys, before I forget, I want to let you guys know right now, and I have to cut this into the video, that if you want to join Discord, spots will open up tomorrow, probably tonight at midnight, but you can join the waitlist. And so this is what it looks like. You click on the link. I'll have the link down below for the waitlist. You're going to click it, and this is what it looks like, okay? It's still going to cost money to join Discord. It's going to be $100, just so you know. The price has gone up, but I want to let you know, too, once you get into Discord, the price will never change on you unless you leave or something crazy happens, right? There's people that are still paying $9 that subscribed way in the beginning. The price will only ever go up. I'm just going to let you guys know as I bring more team members on and as we, pay for more things for the Discord, like texting, etc. Like those things cost more money. So I'm just letting you know, the price will never raise on you once you sign up. But if you leave, it's up to you. But yeah, so anyways, you sign up, you get ready. Tomorrow you will have access to sign up. So make sure we'll send you an emails, whatever, so you're ready to go. But again, if you're interested, make sure you sign up for the wait list. It will come out bright and early tomorrow. So make sure you're ready. But get back to the video. Like there's no liquidity here that you'll see. So if I pull up the VRVP to really show you that volume profile here, you're going to notice below that 19.75, there's nothing. Like you'll just drop just straight clean down to 19.45 minimum. So that's what I'm looking for there. And that's a lot of tech heavy names, Nasdaq, semiconductors, etc. Now, another part I want to talk about here is semiconductors. And I want to just give you a rundown before we really start attacking these names is, semiconductors for a better part of the week, or really like last week. So we looked at June 20th into the 25th, and then which was Tuesday, just straight downside. End of the week, we kind of like perk up. We look a little bit decent, but you could argue that you're flagging here. You're preparing for more downside. And that is, in my opinion, the concern, because if semiconductors pull back again, in my opinion, the Nasdaq will pull back as well. It's just that simple. I don't think we have to disconnect. I think semiconductors have shown a lot of it. And when we look at the pain that the Nasdaq had, last week, a really clear point here is semiconductors had a major part in that. And when you look at something like XLK, the tech ETF, yeah, you pulled back with it. But what I will say here is a lot of these names tried to break back out. Like they tried, but really, really, really tried. Like Google did break out and hit all-time highs. Like even while the market was like pulling back, it looked really strong. Like Amazon as well, right? Microsoft, another one of those names, like continue to try to break out, but semis were what was holding it back. So although we had a little bit of a dip end of the day, I think what we're looking at going into this week and really into the second week of July is, can semis bounce back and find buyers? Because if they do, in my opinion, just my opinion, the Nasdaq finds buyers and we push back into all-time highs with ease. Okay, that's the big point, because what you saw here with us pushing on Friday morning, that was without semis for the most part. Semis are still pretty beaten up. So things you need to be considering and watching for. So when I go back to this heat map, I think it's a little bit deceiving. Okay, I think this part is deceiving because you see all the red and you're like, okay, this is terrible. Friday was bad. I don't think so. Like, semis held up despite that pullback that we had. Banks as well, which we'll go into that here in a second as well with Dow names. But that's what you wanted to kind of see here. Now, when we go into this week as well, and again, I'm using Moomoo. The link is down below if you're interested. But again, when we go into this week and we look at the calendar of what's happening here, I want to set the day for Friday real quick. I'm just going to do 2-star information just so we can get rid of the nonsense. This is all North America stuff as well. Okay, so we're not going to have too much tomorrow. I'm going to let you know that. Tuesday, you'll get a little bit more. You have some jobless claims coming in. That will be interesting, okay? We've seen jobless claims rise. That's what you want to see happen. The Fed is clearly happy about that as well, okay? That's what you want to see. So ISM manufacturing and PMI, not super important. Wednesday, this is Wednesday, and then on 4th of July, really weird that they're... I kind of can't believe it. Oh, no, sorry, this is Friday. You are releasing non-farm payrolls, okay? That is important to see. Probably the most important data on the week, Friday after 4th of July, okay? So that will be interesting. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, also important to realize, July 4th, obviously the market is closed. July 3rd, it's a half day. So you get some information, but the market's going to be closed after, like, noon. So things you need to be considering and watching for. Because, again, I don't see a lot of volume coming out here, okay? You know, if you go back and look at something like Thanksgiving, right? Or you go look at something like, trying to think of other Memorial Day, right? Or even the Juneteenth week, right? Not a lot of action happened when those federal holidays hit the market, right? Volume dies down typically. So again, definitely watching this very, very closely. Now, we're going to go into some options here in a second, but first let's go back and look at what we're looking at on the market. Now, really quick, I know some people like to look at SPY and Qs more. So when we look at SPY and Qs, what you're looking for here is just to hold above 544. Above 544, I think you look fine. I think you look bullish. I think you're strong. So as long as you're holding that previous high established here on June 12th, I think you look fine. So hold that level. You can see clear support holding here. You held here at the end of the day. So you want to see. So as we start getting back up, getting above view up, etc., you're looking for easy scalps trades to the upside, in my opinion. Below that, a lot choppier, not interested. You break 540, you're looking for that downside. So break 540, you can talk about downside. Okay, Qs. Pretty similar here as well. I've kind of marked this out. If you start to break back below, it's actually more difficult, in my opinion, when we look at Qs. Because Qs, again, if you start breaking below 473, then I think there's a short because you're making a lower low. So you start breaking down below, you can trade down to 465. But until then, you can't really do anything. But I'll still say this part here to here, it's about $10 of downside. So there's still a lot of downside opportunity. But to end the week, again, you bounced and you held the same level you needed to hold right there, the basically 478.5 level. You can see the bounce, the break and mount right there as well. Key level, obviously holding above that level, you do look good. That's what I'm watching for. Nothing to overcomplicate. You got to just keep it simple. Keep watching what's happening. The price action is telling you the entire story here. So, again, what I would be watching closely. Now, again, I'll go in more in detail with these names that we're liking, what I want to watch, but I try to be really clear. Like, you want to be pretty cautious, okay, going in this week. Because, again, what do we expect? Low volume. And the volume's already been low, so I don't really need to tell you much. But if the volume gets any lower, it could get, you don't expect too much. You can even see here, too, when we bring our Lux Algo levels up as well, there's not much here. There's not much being established. There's just not a lot going on here. SPY, there's definitely a lot more. But again, once you start breaking back below that 540 level, again, it's wraps. You're breaking down quick. So again, like the levels really show you here as well. And if you're interested in the Lux Algo levels, the link are down below as well. So make sure you're looking at that. Now, more into names that we're looking at for trading, stocks, etc. Now, Apple has been one of my top names. Everyone was kind of panicking, saying, "Tyler, are you done with Apple? Like, what's happening here? Is it bearish? Is it done?" The market pullback that we had on Friday. Again, let's talk about a few things. Let's really attack this. So let's go over SPY. We're gonna go over SPY. Let's get rid of our indicators real quick, so it looks just a little bit more clean here for a sec. I just want to take you back to the end of May as well. Really, just for instance, and again, I'm not saying that this has to happen the same way, but it's worth mentioning. May 29th through May 31st, you basically dropped. Sold off. Okay. We go back to end of April, right? End of April, April 29th, April 30th, you sold off, right? I'm just saying, like, you can go back. March, you started selling off a little bit. not too much, but you did sell off into the month. So it's worth mentioning. You've seen these sell-offs into the end of the month, but at this one, you're holding at all-time highs. So I don't know. It still looks decent. But I will say, if the possibility of, you start to double top and break below that neckline, like, it does look good for the downside. So things to be watching. Now, going back into these names, I have to be optimistic. Why? Because one, data has been pretty good as far as when we look out, the PCE reports, right? Again, the cool thing about Moomoo here too is like it gives you like a really clean cut view of, the chart of how this has been playing out. So if I go back to like last week, let's just really quickly bring that up. PCE, we can go to, I want to look at core PCE. So I want to go really quick into that. Where is it at? Core PCE, core 28th. Where's my core PCE? Am I missing it, boys and girls? I can't tell. Core PCE. Yeah. Core PCE right here, month over month. Year over year, you can just see it's tracking to the downside, right? Really easy and quickly to see. So make sure like you understand that. And so when I look at that, I view the market still as bullish because it's happening the way we want to see the Fed moving the market, right? And what we were expecting. So Apple, I still love, but like I keep saying and telling you guys, again, when we look at the option chain, what's happening here? Okay, I want to be really clear. My January contracts on anything that I'm trading, these are the contracts that I feel comfortable holding, right? I will accept some pain on these contracts, right? Now, when I go to shorter dated contracts like August or September or October, I want to take advantage of volatile moves. Why? So I can make money in these shorter term trades, and then I can capitalize and hold and feel safer and mitigate some risk on my longer term trades, right? So in case I am wrong and the market pulls back, because I always want to prepare myself for that case. But again, these contracts are still moving good. They're around, I think they closed at like 1260 was the last closed price there. They're still decent. Worth mentioning, these are the January 17th. Again, very interested in these positions. Again, highs of what you had. I can go back and look. The hourly highs were $18, $19 roughly on our first push. On our second push, it was around $17, $17.50. So I still like them. Still the opportunities there. Do what you want with that. I have not started adding any more because I wasn't active at the end of the day Friday. But again, I still like the August contracts as well. Those are $5. They actually ended up closing at $4. The highs of what they pushed up here were around $6.20. So again, there was money to be made here. Almost doubled up on those positions again. So worth mentioning, worth watching. And Apple's moving really. It's surprising that Apple's moving this good because it doesn't usually move this fast. So again, big fan of like August, October's if you want a little bit less risk. But those are the names that I'm watching right here on Apple. Again, what you're trying to see here on Apple is getting back above some of these levels, right? Back above 11 to 11.4. Then obviously you're really bullish above 214.7. Above those two levels, like on the hourly 2 hour, you're looking for really good pushing back to the upside. Okay. Other names I'm watching as well. Amazon. I'm very excited about when these names finally start innovating, right? We've talked a lot about Amazon. And if you guys have missed it, let me just give you a quick recap. Sorry for anyone who has to rewatch this. So if you don't know, Amazon basically, they announced two big things, okay? Number one, so Amazon said they're going to take on Temu and Shein, and they're basically doing like a very cheap option for their products. And the way that they're able to get these prices is when orders are under a certain amount of money, the shipping on them cost, it varies drastically. And certain tariff laws we have here in America, and so they're just able to get past those. And that's really what they're doing here. And so that's how they're going to attack this. What's important though is Amazon isn't doing this because they're making less money or that they're hurting. They're just doing this to innovate, to make more money, to take advantage of all aspects of the market, right? And that's what we continue to talk about on names that we like to invest in and names that have value to us. Or these companies that can continue to make better products and make more money. And that's what Amazon is doing. They have not hurt. Their earnings have been fantastic. But this is just a good sign. Like they're going that full NVIDIA route of like make as much money as fast as you can. That's what they're doing. And they have proven that they don't like hurt their product while they do that. Okay. That's big. Now the AI chip, let me see real quick. Again, quick Google searches literally show all this information. I'm trying to find the AI chip news. This one slipped through the cracks a little bit more here. I can't even show it. Anyways, but there was more hype around this back in May, and everyone was like, they can't do it. They were trying to figure out a product here and they couldn't get it figured out. Anyways, they did. They're talking about the production of this. A very similar thing to think about is when Apple started introducing their own chips into their products and how that cut cost across the board and really skyrocketed Apple as a company. So again, Amazon's still gonna have to use companies like for data centers. But again, like if they can cut costs across the board for these, what they're doing with their servers, again with AWS, I'll do like think about it. Like think how this works out, right? They're cutting costs and cutting out middlemen, doing a lot of this in-house, making more money. So again, Amazon as a chart, I'm looking for that coming back into basically 192, 191.7. And then also you have your 2021 high right here, 188. Guys, if you also aren't following on Twitter, I'm posting a lot of these charts on Twitter for you. So you have a lot of, can answer these questions, go back, catalog them. Get the link for Twitter's down below. Tyler Wilson 119 is the Twitter. I probably won't DM you, but if you DM me, I might respond to you. So make sure you reach out to me first. I will not reach out to you first. So that's probably a scammer. I'm going into options though here. Again, when I'm looking at options on Amazon, these have been fantastic. If you've seen my Twitter as of recently, this has been some of my best day trades is Amazon, surprisingly. The dated contracts are a little less enticing right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. Just because of the volatility that kicked in and the IV, not as awesome as they were. Like, for instance, if you were buying them back in around the 20th, you were paying like $6, $7 for 200s, and they skyrocketed to $15. Now they're at $12, $11 still. Do I think they're good? I do. This is like October, for instance. But I think they're a little bit risky, okay? Even like the Januaries, like the January 200s are now $20. It's crazy. They went up 100%. That's wild. I don't know if they're going to get back down to $10. That'd be crazy. But I think the value is there on Amazon. I'm just telling you. Now, I don't like the deep out of the money ones like 220s. Those are crazy. I see people buying those. I don't know about all that. That's crazy. I think the August shorter term swings look really good. They do. It's only 47 days of expiration. That's the scariest part. So I'm breaking a few rules, but I still like them. The $8 ones, they move really good. They move good. Highs were about 11.10. Even on the push back up, 10.40. Really nice there. But if you want a little bit more space, have your 60 days at least. The September 20s are really nice as well. I like these. Make a little bit less money on them, but again, there's still money to be made. Okay, I like Amazon a lot. I'm telling you guys, I'm very bullish on the overall name. And I do believe this can start running. I'm gonna tell you right now, okay? Also, you guys, you see me using Moomoo a lot, and I'm just trying to share what platforms of what I'm using and why I like them. And I've heard a lot of testimonies from you guys about liking the platform as well. One option, first of all, there's no fees on it, which I've had a huge issue with fees, but the fills have been amazing. You guys have been the testament. They are mixing what Webull tried to do, and Webull's actually dog water with fills and how good, it's terrible, and what TOS has done. So I love what Moomoo is doing, and they have some big features coming out very soon. So again, if you guys like them, again, I use it almost for everything now. I'm almost to the point where I'm using all my charting over there. It's just getting out of using the same platform for years. But yeah, so everything I do when it comes to options, my heat maps, all my research, a lot of it comes from Moomoo, so make sure you check it out. The link is down below. Again, it's just a better alternative to what I've been using for a long time now. So yeah, Amazon's still a big fan here. A little bit further, a few other little riskier names, okay? I covered AVGO on Twitter as well, so you probably saw it. So AVGO, I will be watching. Sorry, I got messed up. But AVGO, you're looking for a break above 618. Above 618, you can start moving into 1650. Nice name there as well, possibly into 1670. Okay, but you got to break above basically 1618. You do look good, low liquidity. You're making a nice little base here. That is nice. Okay, again, semiconductors as a whole, they're beat up. Micron, another big name here. Another one of those cheaper options. Now, again, I told you about Micron because it reminded me a lot of Dell. Okay, it might remind me a lot of Dell, what was happening here. I'm going to go into why. But again, you're coming back down to your previous high. This was your breakout point, your ascending triangle. You broke out, ran to 155, and you're retesting this. Now, I'm not saying Micron has to bounce here. But if you're going to bounce, this is where you'd imagine it. So if you're buying down here, stops $2, $2.50 down. You're looking for upside into 135, roughly. That's still almost a 2-hour trade. But you're also able to get that swing potentially back into 142, maybe even higher. And that's where the money really gets made here. You can tighten these stops up if you want. It's totally up to you guys how you want to trade this. But what I'd be looking for, okay, I'd probably actually have stops below these lows right there, to be honest. That's where I'd like to set them, around 129 flat. So again, good setup. And again, if you raise those right there, you're still at a really nice trade as well. Micron's been killing it. I love the pullback. Their earnings didn't miss. Their earnings were actually halfway decent. It's just the guidance wasn't as incredible as people thought. And with semiconductors, that's been hurting you. But we've seen how semiconductors react and how they bounce back. Again, AVGO and Micron. When we look at Micron, definitely one of the cheaper options out there. I'm going to tell you right now. Again, you can grab, like, you know, those. These are the August. Let's go to September's though. The September's like the 140s. You know, these were at. I mean, dude, like these went to $28. Like it's kind of insane. Like you think about it. Like about a week ago, shout out to that guy. About a week ago, they're at $28. Now they're down at $7. You know, it is priced in with the earnings, so we'll take it for what it is. But again, even here, like right before earnings, you're at $17. Like you start pushing back into highs, like these things are gonna go crazy. Gonna let you know, do your own research, but still interesting. Okay, AVGO. Again, AVGO, very interesting name. They have the stock split coming up. This is going to be a name that you're not going to be able to trade as far away. You have to grab deeper out of the money, so that's why I say it's a lot more risky. Do what you want here. I can only say so much. I like deeper out of the money plays here on names like AVGO. I have to break some rules here, go shorter dated. But again, like the 1800s, very interesting how they move. They did reach back into roughly $21 and that push back up. You know, they're back at $15. So again, when you look at what's happening on AVGO, very interesting. A lot more risky. So I want to make sure you understand that. Micron seems less risky, and you're at an awesome level to get back into this. But again, this comes back down to like the Nasdaq and getting that bounce on Qs and SPY and seeing if buyers really are going to step back into the market. Because if they do, again, you're where you need to be. If they do, you look so good. But I also think this week has to be from the viewpoint of mitigating risk, right? Not going crazy, waiting, because you might get some great setups with low volume. But yeah, few of the last things I want to mention, right? DXY, we saw some upside from PC, and then you started dropping back down. I want to see DXY drop more. I think the DXY drops more when we start seeing the Fed talk. Remember, Powell does speak this week. Also worth mentioning, it might have got missed on the calendar when I just showed you guys that. One thing you have to remember to do is select H, the 2 and 3 star when you're doing that for North America. I believe he talks on Tuesday or Wednesday. I gotta make for sure. I want to be positive. It's not popping up here though. But Powell does speak. I know for a fact Powell is speaking this week. So make sure you're watching for that. And when the Fed members talk, that's when you're going to see DXY get more and more of its action. But I think DXY has been a little bit misleading, okay? We look at yields. You did see the spike here off the PC, which was crazy that you saw that spike. So I definitely am watching the yields very closely and how they're moving, because TLT didn't get a good reaction from it either, okay? So you want to see how that responds from Powell and the Fed speaking overall. These are bouncing back up. Is it a trap, etc.? So definitely paying close attention to that. But the name that I want to mention, again, is still XLE and Energy, because XLE, I keep saying it, I think Energy looks great. XLE, I'm going to keep saying it because I think it's an awesome setup, and you already started making money on this play. XLE in particular is sitting triangle since 2022, very bullish. Exxon's the best name out here, and I've been telling you guys over the past few days. When I mentioned it, it was around 114, 113. You actually dipped down to 113 flat almost. You bounced back up into 116.5. Again, contracts that I was mentioning for you guys go back to the 20. Again, a lot of time, so the risk is minimal compared to a lot of these other trades you guys are taking, right? And when we look at Exxon, I'm just saying, guys, y'all remember, these contracts were like under $5, like $4.80, $4.70. They ran to highs of $6.25. Like I'm just saying, like, do your own research, do what you got to do. Not making you buy anything, but again, awesome opportunities, guys. Awesome opportunities here. These things went crazy. They're still moving good. I did trim some. I ended up buying more at support, but again, these are your setups, guys. Again, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to make money. Sometimes you're not going to make 100%. Sometimes you got to settle for 20, 30, right? But have a trade plan, guys, because this is how you're succeeding. This is how I'm winning in the market, guys. This is how I'm taking advantage of it. So when y'all see me on Twitter posting gains, it's more for like demonstration education happening there, guys. So I want to make sure you really understand what's taking place, right? Make sure you know what's taking place. Also, too, guys, to let you know, I probably told you about this in the beginning of the video, but I kind of just forgot. But when we're looking at this as well, I want to let you guys know right now, if you guys are interested, tomorrow morning, we are going to have access to the Discord. I'll let you know that right now, okay? The wait list is here, okay? I'm going to have the wait list linked below if you guys are interested. If you are trying to join Discord, you need to get on the wait list. We'll have spots open up tomorrow, but if you're not on the wait list, you might not be able to make it. So make sure if you're interested, sign up, fill it out. We're not going to spam you, just give you access. You can. It's still going to cost. I'm going to let you know. But again, the waitlist has been getting destroyed. I mean, people just aren't able to get in. So I'm trying to make it for whoever's like most interested, not just getting lucky. So again, the spots open on the Premier Access. We aren't doing that right now. So anyways, have a good one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, and let's get to work trading this week.